Making good deals, making good friends.
Takeoff, and Diane is here with more on his transmissions to the radio tower that day.
Good morning to you all. So we're now learning that close call with that passenger jet and landing in the wrong location weren't Ford's only mix-ups that day. New audio of the moments leading up to the landing shows a number of other odd mistakes, including Ford calling into the wrong control tower and then mistakenly identifying his plane as a helicopter. This morning, new audio recordings reveal Harris.
Husky Meadow Hotel uniform, still with the Santa Monica Tower, LA Tower, 119.8, please.
Only minutes after that, Ford, preparing to land in Orange County, calls out the runway, but instead lines up to a taxiway and flies right over an American Airlines 737 with more than 100 passengers on board.
The fact that we have mistakes in the beginning of the flight and we have a very serious mistake at the end of the flight, which did put some people in jeopardy. The FAA is going to want to know what was really going on here.
Kid, I've flown from one side of this galaxy to the other.
This week's close call ended with a safe landing, but now the FAA is investigating the
You apply the decal for the dash gauges first, then you cement the pilot in the backer for the pilot, and you place the left and the right side of the fuselage together with the alignment pins and hold snugly in place. Make sure all the seams around the fuselage are lined up and all the gaps are closed. They have to be held together until the fuselage dries. A tip would be to make sure that your rear wheel, it is quite fragile, but make sure that will move freely. In flight it is in the up position. and then down is when it is in the park position. In the brake rod, it slides out to stop the airplane when it lands on the carrier. That should move freely back and forth. Another tip is after you have sprayed your paint onto the fuselage, it takes several days in many instances for it to dry. If you try to assemble your model before the paint is completely dry, you're going to have smudges all over the finish. Operating your glue is, sometimes you can put glue on directly from the tube. Other times you may have to use a toothpick in order to control the amount of glue going on to your parts as you're putting them together. There are some moving parts, like the propeller, the rear brake, and the wheels. You want to make sure that they turn freely. You spin them back and forth with your fingers. Then you have moving parts on your model. When the propeller shaft turns freely and you have it fully in place, apply your glue right on the end of the shaft. The wheel assembly is made to go up inside the wing and come down out for landing. In order for it to move, I had to take and sand the top of these pegs here in order for it to turn. They were a little too high, so I used a fingernail file and all 4 points sanded down. In order to make the wheels rotate on the shaft, I took at the end of the axle, took a hot screwdriver, warmed up on the stove, and put some pressure here and melted the plastic briefly, enough to hold the tire and wheel on. Now it will spin freely without coming off. Make sure you test fit the wheel assemblies together to make sure that they'll fit up inside the openings in the wing before you do any gluing the pin on up here to keep the assembly together. When the two sections of the center wing are put together, it will look like you see right here. After a test fit on the wings, the center section here, to make sure that the wheels will open and close properly with the two sections held together, the top and the bottom section of the center wing. Then you can take it apart and put your glue on, and you're all set to put it back together until it dries. On the center wing section, the lower wing, there are two pins located here and here, so you want to slide it in with this side first. The pegs on the rockets may have to be trimmed, and then they will snap right into place. Just kind of bring them to a point. They'll hold fine without any glue on. That should fit snugly in the hole. The bomb holes were reamed out with a 1/16 drill bit. Then the bombs and the fuel tank were cemented into place. Now we'll slide the right tail wing marked with a number for the right side off the backer and onto the wing.